We'll get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Hacktoberfest event, which is for Hacktoberfest challenges for all. And I have Piyush with me, who will be kicking off the event with some of the introduction to what Hacktoberfest is and what it's all about. So after that, I'll just showcase you how you can actually contribute and which is the repository that you should be looking for if you want to get yourself started, and then from there on we have tons of other resources to learn and tons of other places where you can contribute. So with that, I hand it over to you, Piyush.
Yep. Right. Can you enable the screen sharing for me? I just have a couple of slides that I want to go through. Yeah.
You
Thank you.
should be able to share now.
Yeah. Uh, right. The slides are visible now, right? Great. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. It was a late moment, and it's Friday evening. But still, thanks for being here. My name is Piyush Gupta, and I will be talking to you about Hacktoberfest. Just a quick introduction. I work as a senior developer advocate at DigitalOcean, and these are some of the contact details that where you can reach out to me, be it on Slack. I'm on Kubernetes Slack. My handle there is pencil91. You can reach out to me on Twitter on the same handle. Or if you are the kind of person who would rather write down an email, please feel free to send one at pgupta@digitalocean.com. Right? Uh, so I'm sure most of you would have heard about Hacktoberfest by now, right? And Hacktoberfest is basically a month-long celebration of open source software that is primarily organized by DigitalOcean. And this year we have partnered with Intel and Dev as well. Just to give you a run through of how Hacktoberfest has grown in past years, right? We started this in 2014. At that time, we had what 600 participants or 600 signups. That compare that to last year, we had around more than 130,000 participants, and this year we have already crossed that number, right? So I'm not sure where that bar is going to go for 2020, right? Uh, we have been able to the number of completion has increased from 500 to more than 60,000, and number of pull requests have increased from 49,000 to more than 480,000, right? And these are all valid pull requests, right? I know you might be concerned that people just signing pull requests, but these are the pull requests that have been merged or accepted by the maintainers, right? So this is the kind of change that Hacktoberfest has been able to brought to open source over the past few years, right? And it's not just about these numbers. We had almost 700 events across 70 countries last year. Due to the situation this year, we can't have physical events, but Hacktoberfest has been able to provide a platform where community can come together and collaborate. Right? Just to talk about this year's Hacktoberfest, we have the October long celebration, and where individuals can learn, contribute, they can meet other developers, and they can contribute 4 pull requests to earn a limited edition T-shirt, right? And I know the core part of that sentence looks like earning a T-shirt, but trust me, that's not. The core part there is to learn from other developers, to contribute to open source, and also meet other developers whom you would probably not meet if not given the Hacktoberfest platform, right? This year we had to make changes to support all the virtual events because the situation that we are in, right? There are no physical events, right? And we don't want to risk anything. We had a Preptember event this year as well. So September was Preptember, and I know our marketing team is pretty good on puns. So the idea was to prepare the repo owners and the maintainers so that they can get their repository ready for Oktoberfest. What we have seen historically is once the October comes, there are a lot of contributors who are looking to contribute to any open source project, right? And that Preptember idea was basically to get all the maintainers and repo owners to add a proper contribution guideline, create issues, tag them properly so that the contributors don't have, or the people who are doing it for the first time, they don't have to struggle much to find right issues for them. And also this year we are creating a new initiative that's pick trees not trees, right? We know that shipping 70,000 odd t-shirt across the globe has a big carbon footprint on that, and we want to offset that, right? When you qualify the challenge, or when you complete the challenge, you get an option of either getting the T-shirt, or you can get a tree planted on your name. We have partnered with an NGO called Tree Nation, and whenever you choose that option, basically we will donate to that charity, and they will plant a tree on your behalf, right? So uh, please choose that option if you can, right? And this is one of the important slides that I want to talk about. I'm sure you might have heard all the noise that Hacktoberfest made in the initial days, and and we had to roll out these changes. I guess these changes went out 3rd or 4th of October, right? Uh, so I will just go through them. One of the biggest change that we made is this year Hacktoberfest is opt-in. Like earlier, you could have sent PR to any of the GitHub repositories and it would have counted. But this year, maintainers needs to explicitly express their desire to take part in Hacktoberfest, right? And the way they can do it is they can add a topic to their GitHub repo, right? And that topic should be Hacktoberfest, right? If you send a PR to any other repository, it won't be counted. And that PR has to be either merged or approved, right? So, and that helps in reducing the spam in a way where if you send any garbage change, right, that's not going to be merged or accepted by the maintainer, and it won't be counted towards completing the challenge, right? Uh, Now, when we made that change, there was some concerns from the community, as not everybody would be taking part uh, in the Hacktoberfest event, or you might be contributing to a project that you care about, but that project is not actively taking part in Hacktoberfest, right? Uh, so for that, we have an option. If you are sending a PR to a non-opt-in repository, the PR should have a Hacktoberfest accepted label, right? So that maintainer would have to add that Hacktoberfest accepted label, right? So just to summarize that, two ways: either you contribute to a opt-in repository, and your PR should either be merged or approved, or if you are sending it to a non-opt-in repository, it should have an Hacktoberfest accepted label, right? And these changes basically give more power to maintainers, so that they can control who is contributing to their project, and what they consider as a valid contribution, right? We have also increased the review period from 7 days to 14 days, and this gives maintainers more time to validate the changes. And to complete all of that, I mean, the completions, merging, labeling, and approving is November 1st. We have been growing in terms of sponsors and community, right? We started alone, then we had GitHub as a partner, and this year we have got Intel, Dev, Vonage, JetBrains, Circle CI, and of course GitHub as well. And we have got a lot of community partners as well. The core part of this, why do we keep doing this, right? Why do we keep doing Hacktoberfest year over year, right? And one of the biggest thing that we have seen in our experience with Hacktoberfest is when you give people freedom to collaborate, when you give them a platform to work with each other, they create awesome stuff, right? And it's not just about doing it at the open source level. We have seen there are a lot of companies who don't usually contribute to open source, but when Hacktoberfest come, they create teams, and these teams actually come together and solve an internal problem, and they just open source that solution on GitHub, right? And it helps them internally. It doesn't necessarily have to be a contribution to an open source project, but it's more about the community coming together and creating something brilliant, right? It provides a learning opportunity for everyone. There have been people who have never contributed to open source, but when Hacktoberfest comes in, they start contributing, and they learn about how GitHub works and how open source works in general. Uh, it also helps maintainers to welcome new community members, right? Open source is all about people, and it is a thankless job, right? I mean, most of the maintainers, it's not probably they're not even getting paid to actually maintain those projects, right? They are doing it out of probably their love for community, or basically it's an hobby, right? And they always need people to help them out, right? And Hacktoberfest provides a platform where these maintainers can get in new people to help them with the project, and probably they can nurture them to become a maintainer, and they can just start with a new project as well, right? It helps introduce people to free and open source software, and contribution is not just about code, right? So we don't measure your contribution that it has to be a feature add, or things like that, right? As long as it's a PR, right? It could be just a documentation change, it could be a you are just probably writing a blog, you are just creating awareness, right? You are just fixing some typos, it could be anything. as long as it's a PR, it gets counted, right? And we have seen a lot of testimonials where people have actually got a new job, due to Hacktoberfest, right? They started contributing to a project, and the company that was managing that project, or a company that was uh, using that project extensively, right? They were able to offer jobs to these candidates, right? And of course, you can grow into the contribution ladder as well, from a beginner contributor to an active contributor, or from an active contributor to a maintainer. And this also helps out in one of our values. That's one of the things that we believe in. DigitalOcean's whole tech stack is based on open source tools, right? Starting from our virtual servers to our load balancers to our firewalls to our managed Kubernetes service, right? And we realize that for our growth, a sustainable open source environment is mandatory, right? And Hacktoberfest helps us do that as well. I also want to talk a bit about my Hacktoberfest journey. I started in 2018, right? Have been part of two Hacktoberfest. I've got two T-shirts to prove that. Uh, and I was learning Golang at that point of time, and I was looking for a cloud native project where I could contribute to. I came across a nice project called OpenEBS, one of the amazing community I have ever come across, right? And uh, I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen. That's my first PR that I sent to OpenEBS, and that's dated 1st October 2018, right? And it was not a big change. I just added unit test for a method, right? But that's how I got started, right? And I have been contributing to that project for almost 2 years now. And I was recently made a maintainer of that project, right? So that's how the journey has been for me. I mean, the motivation was T-shirt, of course, right? But I wasn't doing it just to sign for PRs, right? I took my time to understand what I want to do, and which project I want to contribute to, and of course, luckily I found a good community, and uh, all those things that I mentioned in the slide of why Hacktoberfest. I mean, there was just a tech park for me for each one of those steps. Right? And that brings me to talk about Hacktoberfest values. These are some things that we should be keeping in mind when you are participating in Hacktoberfest. First thing first is you will be meeting people from different backgrounds, from different skill sets, different level of seniority in open source, right? Just make sure you are nice to everybody. And the second one is the most important value, right? I cannot stress this enough. It's not about just sending those 4 PRs, right? Whenever you're sending a PR, make sure it is a meaningful change, it has a meaningful impact on that project, right? That way you improve your skills, and also it helps that open source project, right? And don't be a shoot and scoot type of guy. Just don't send 4 PRs to a repository and then disappear from there, right? It just creates tag debt for that particular project, right? And somebody will have to work to maintain that, right? So uh, take ownership of your actions. Whatever contribution you are doing, just make sure, or whatever project you are contributing to, make sure you are sticking it for the long term, right? It's not just something that you know uh, just send 4 PRs and just disappear from there. Getting started with Hacktoberfest is pretty straightforward. I'm sure you would have a GitHub account. If you don't, you can just go to github.com. The onboarding is pretty straightforward. You can create an account. You can register on hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. Get familiar with basic GitHub stuff like how to create a PR, what are issues, right? And then you can search for repositories which have Hacktoberfest topic tagged with them. GitHub has a good search functionality for searching with topics, right? And last I checked, we had almost 38,000 repositories tagged with Hacktoberfest topic, right? So that, I mean, on 4th of October when we introduced this change, we had 2,000, right? So that's good in a way that community is responding. And then you have to make 4 pull requests to the opted in repositories between 1st and 31st October, right? And if you see that any repository that are not following the code of conduct, you can report them, and we will mark them ineligible. Right? I just want to take a minute to talk about do's and don'ts as well. One of the first do is, I mean, as long as it's possible, or to the best of your ability, send PRs to the opt-in repositories only, right? Do not disturb the maintainers who don't want to take part in Hacktoberfest, right? But if you are working on a project that is not taking part in Hacktoberfest, you can request maintainer to add the Hacktoberfest accepted label. But I would suggest to avoid that. You can all, I mean, as I said, we have 38,000 repositories taking part, so you would certainly find uh, a project that is of your interest, right? uh, Read the contribution guidelines in a proper way. Every project has one, and so that you can become a better contributor, so that maintainers don't have to come back and always validate your changes. Whatever changes you are trying to make, there are good chances that there would be an open issue already, right? And comment on that issue, talk to the maintainer, whatever change you want to make, fix on the approach, and then send your PR, right? And the don'ts are pretty straightforward. Do not spam, right? It's not going to help you. And if you spam too much, you can actually get banned from Hacktoberfest. We are implementing a system where we can ban you, and not just for a year, but for all the coming Hacktoberfest as well, right? So it won't help you in any way. You won't learn anything. The maintainers would be annoyed. Your reputation in the community would be bad, and you won't get a t-shirt at all, right? So there is literally no reason for you to send spam or minor text edits or non-impactful changes, right? So make sure whatever PR you're sending has an impact on the project that you're contributing to. Right, so that's all I have. There are some of the contact details. You can reach out to me if you want to know more. And if you want to try out DigitalOcean, you can just go to do.co/Oktoberfest 100. You can get $100 credits to try out the products, right? So yeah, that's all I had. I guess I am will talk about the challenges repo.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's pretty much a very good introduction to Hacktoberfest and why we are doing that and what it will bring. Make sure you have read the don'ts part very carefully because it has made a lot of noise this time, and that's why there have been a few changes which are definitely for good, I believe. And you can see this on the screen. We have this repository. So this is a repository that is actually participating for Hacktoberfest. So I had this idea. I discussed with Piyush. We thought it's good, and we are going forward with it. And it's not only for Hacktoberfest; it will be continuing for future as well. So we'll be, keep on updating this repository and getting all the contributors and people like you. Definitely, we want contributions from. Now the thing is, this is basically GitHub, if you don't know. And in GitHub, you just create an account using your Gmail or whatever email that you can, and you search for repositories. So I have just pasted the link. You can go here. Now, in the repository, the main agenda of this is challenges, creating challenges on different technologies so that you can learn. And if you have, you can learn from the challenges. Another thing is, if you have already learned something, you can contribute back the challenges. So there are two ways where you can contribute to this repository. One is by creating the challenges and solutions for the community, and another one is taking the challenges and solving them and giving your own solutions. So as of now, we have a lot of contributors who have contributed to Kubernetes challenges, Golang challenges, gRPC, machine learning. So they keep coming, and we have active label Hacktoberfest. So every pull request will be counted, and even if you want any extra label like Hacktoberfest accepted, I'm happy to add that. Not an issue. So the thing here is, when you come here, you just go to this green icon over here, and you can clone this repository. A very simple way to send a PR request. Then you go back to your terminal, you do a git clone. Make sure you have git installed, by the way. Git clone and the repository. I already have this repository, so it will look something like this. So you'll be having a simple folder with all the same directory structure that you just saw on the screen. You can go over there. Now you'll see all the folders having the challenges. Then let's say you go to a machine learning challenge, and you can see there is a specific format for that. So I created this challenge. So whenever you're submitting as a challenger, whenever you're submitting a challenge, so what you do is you create a challenge with C, then your challenge name, and then the level. So whether it's beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you can put over there. Then you create a solution as well, so that the community knows how to solve it. They can either use your way, or they can, because they have to learn, right? So they can either use your way, or they can learn from this and try it out on their own on maybe different cloud vendor or something like that, and post their solutions. So you create a solution. Now if you see, it's very simple challenge. When you click on C, the challenge is create a K3s cluster and install Kubeflow pipelines on it, and expectation is Kubeflow pipeline is running. So that's the simple challenge. Then you have a solution. So for solution, there are different ways. You can either point out a complete solution, like all the commands and the images over here. You can point it to the blogs that you have already written if it's very detailed. You can point it out to a repository, like this is the repository which will be having the solution. So there's a flexibility. I mean, we are not it's been not very hard coded or very like you have to do this, you have to be. So there is some kind of flexibility over there, just so that people don't feel like I'm restricted, I have to write everything, I already have a blog. Or maybe it's better if I have a blog, you can share on your personal as well, and you can include it in a chat in the challenge as well. So it's a two-way win-win for you, and it's a win-win for the repository, and it's a win-win for Hacktoberfest. Now you can see like I have already given a command, like you have a machine and a virtual instance in any of the cloud, be it Civo Cloud, be it DigitalOcean, or any other. You run this command and you should be good to go. If you want to do on Civo Cloud, that's I have specially mentioned how to do that. So I already wrote a blog, so I have given a reference to the blog as well. So that's how the solution goes. Now, if you are coming in as a person who wants to submit the solutions, so what you will do is you will come inside this folder. You will create a folder of your name. Inside your folder, you'll just start posting solutions. So your solution will be solution to the same challenge name, whatever it was. Create Kubeflow, enable pipeline. I'll just copy it. And then you can create your own solution, and that's it. You can submit the pull request. That's how easy it is. So keep on creating the solutions for the challenges, keep on solving the challenges, and have your folders over here, and keep on updating them. So if you see, there are tons of great challenges in Kubernetes, so you can have a look at them. Create your own Helm chart, deploy a multi-tier application, how to auto scale your application, install Jenkins, install Grafana, create multiple namespaces, how to auto scale, K3s cluster on Raspberry Pi. So I mean, great challenges already in place for what you call Kubernetes. All the other technologies are welcome. Machine learning is there, Golang is there, gRPC is there. You want Rust, you can post a challenge in FluxDB, or anything. You can just post the challenges over here. So this is the readme file. All the things that I have explained are already written in the readme file as well. So this small diagram explains you. So the challenge by the submitter has to create two files, which one is the directory, which one is the file. And for the solutions, you create your folder, and then you create the solution file. So everything is mentioned, two ways of contribution. So anybody, even if you are a university student, you are a working professional, you are learning a technology, or whatever you are doing, I feel we all can make this a great repository, a great a great database of all the challenges in most of the running technologies, and have it at one place. So that we can just whenever anybody has learned something, they can implement it, or they can test their knowledge, or they can learn more. And for the people who already have done a lot and they want to contribute to the community, again, it's a great place. So we already have 32 stars in, I mean, it's not even 1 month that we have started this repository, which shows that people are interested, and people have been forking it, have been trying out, there have been pull requests. So you can see yesterday only the repository, I mean, not even yesterday, 22 hours ago, Sangam also have posted his challenges. So I mean, we have a lot of community engagement that keeps on going on. We have a great community. As Piyush mentioned, open source community is actually very awesome, and people people do it for their passion, for the love of the community, for meeting new people. So I got to meet 14, 15 new people today, which is great. I mean, I love doing that. And same does Piyush, and same does all the other people who are actually involved in open source community. So you start in by a contributor, then you come as a maintainer. Example sitting right in front of you, Piyush is there. He started OpenEBS as a contributor, first time contributor, when he was learning. Similarly, you can learn, you can come here, contribute, and then we are happy to make you as maintainers, because I myself also cannot handle all the things that are going on. So because I keep on doing new and new initiatives, so and that will keep on happening. so you can expect a lot. And there are a lot of learning resources. If you want to learn these technologies, like Golang itself, you can go to to.golang.com. There are tons of material itself free of cost available. You can go to Container Labs .cubedaily.com. So this is something maintained by Sangam. So I mean, it's tons of information over here. So you have containers, you have LXC, hands-on workshop, CKD, Docker fundamental tracks, Docker, Rancher, Traffic, Octito. I mean, whatnot, and everything is available free of cost. So by the way, so there's nothing that you can say that I want to learn but I don't have money to do that. It's completely fine. You just need a small internet connection. Even with 3G, this website should open, and all these websites should open, and you should be able to learn and then come back here, participate in Hacktoberfest, contribute. Definitely, the plus point is you get a T-shirt, or you plant a tree. Choose the second one for sure. And you contribute. You meet people like Ramiro is there. So if I tell you, one of the pull requests was done by Ramiro, who is the founder of Octito. So I mean, there are a lot of great people that you'll get to meet in the open source community, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, we have this all this planned for you today. So you get to meet us, you get a T-shirt or whatever you want to plan out. You get a name in the community. You learn. It's your contributions. You are learning. You are contributing. You are getting everything. So it's a win-win for you in any scenario, and you are getting recognition in the open source world. So just I would say go ahead and do it, and tell your friends about it to do it. And if you have any doubts, raise an issue over here, or just ping us on Slack. Or yeah, this is by the way, I run a YouTube channel. If you I forgot to mention that. So this is my YouTube channel. I have to do the publicity, right? So you can search for, actually this is a big one, so I'll shorten the URL for you: youtube.com/Sayyam911. So this is the URL. Go there and subscribe. A lot of community members do live streams with me, and we have covered basically two playlists are already there. So we have Docker and serverless playlists already ready for you, and we keep on doing more and more sessions, Kubernetes security, traffic, and there are sessions filled with demos. And I am there always, and there most of the time I do have a guest who speaks on same or kind of different topic. So make sure you subscribe that. Also, yes, I'm also on Twitter. So this is my Twitter profile, either it's Sayyam Pathak. So you can, if you don't want to follow, it's fine. You can just bookmark and have the tweets with you. That's completely okay with me. But why I follow Twitter is because there only I get to know what the latest is happening in the world, what latest technologies people are working on, what are all the open source projects that people are working on, what they are liking. So I also get to see what problems software industry is trying to solve. So these two places, and yes, I am there on Kubernetes Slack as well. Definitely ping me out over there. And there are some Discord channels that Sangam maintains. Maybe you can post the link in the chat, Sangam. It's fine. You can join that as well. We are very active in all the places, and we keep on doing that. So that's it. We have to actually close the call because we have some stuff aligned from the work perspective. So thank you all for joining, and it was a great session. I hope you got some knowledge about Hacktoberfest and some knowledge about how where you can get started. Just sign up on a Hacktoberfest, go to this repo, and start contributing, start learning. And you also got some idea about where to learn. So you have all the resources. Now it's up to you. Tell your friends, sit together, go over the weekend, and from Monday onwards, I should see some of the pull requests. That's all I expect. So thank you all for joining. Thanks, Piyush, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I know this is I mean, we have to close it out now, but yeah,
Yeah,
please feel free to reach out to any of the communication mediums I have mentioned, and we would love to help you out.
yeah. It's being recorded, so I'll post the recording somewhere, and we'll give you the link. Not a problem. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Have a happy weekend.